The Boys Season 4 has finished, and that final episode, we've been left with a lot to talk about. And just before we get started, this will obviously contain a lot of spoilers for Season 4, so if you haven't watched it yet, I would highly recommend doing so, and then come back to the video. A lot went down in this season finale, and I kinda don't have a clue on where to start, but I think I'm gonna start with Ashley, because obviously there was a list put out to kill all of these Vought employees, and the Deep suggested that Ashley had the most dirt on everyone, so you may as well kill her. She panicked as she overheard this. Homelander was signed off and it was like, yeah, okay, kill Ashley sort of thing, didn't really care. Ashley panicked, ran to Homelander's room, got some Compound V and injected the Compound V into herself. And she started to get powers, but we never got to see what powers she gained from this. And I'm obviously imagining that we're going to see what powers she gets in Season 5. Now, at the moment, again, none of us know what powers she gets. We saw it where when she is getting those powers, it's like you can see all the shit going on with her head, because obviously she's actually bald and she wears that wig, what she has. But I'm very interested, not about her powers necessarily, but what side she's going to choose. Is she going to stay loyal and faithful to Vought, to Homelander, or is she going to side with the boys, with A-Train potentially? I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if she's going to be like, oh, I've got powers now, I don't need to be afraid, I can be at Vought still, you know, and still carry out what I was doing beforehand. Or she's going to actually be like, oh, you know what, no, fuck these guys, they've treated me harshly, treated me like shit. I'm going to fuck off and try to take down Vought. We then have A-Train, who unfortunately didn't make an appearance in the finale of Season 4. And I feel like A-Train's been the star of this season. He's had this great redemption story. I don't believe it's finished yet. Many people, including myself, thought that this season was A-Train's last. We thought he was going to get killed off. You know, we were building up to him becoming finally becoming good, wanting to prove to his family that he's actually a hero, actually wanting to prove to himself that he is a hero, not just some scumbag like he has been for the past few seasons. We got to see that when he saved Mother's Milk and he helped out the boys. And we didn't see him this time as he ran away in the previous episode, in episode 7. And I do think we'll see him in Season 5. I've seen a few people say, oh, he's not going to turn up. I feel like that wouldn't be the right thing to do, to not have A-Train to show up. I do think he'll show up in Season 5. And in Season 5, I think that's where he'll get killed off. I think he'll help out as much as he can. And I think maybe he'll finally stand up to Homelander. I was always gutted at Black Noir. We never got to see Black Noir stand up to Soldier Boy. And I feel like if we don't get to see A-Train stand up to Homelander, you know, all the abuse that Homelander's thrown A-Train's way, then it feels like a loss. I won't be happy with that. I want to see A-Train take on Homelander, or at least stand up to him, even if he fails. And then we had Pure Huey, and he's the character who had it worse this season. I don't think any positive came out of this season for him, other than him reconnecting his relationship with his mum and knowing what went on there. But other than that, it was all just shit for him. His dad died, didn't want that happening, obviously. And then the whole thing happened with Tet Knight's dungeon, sex dungeon, or whatever it is. And then you had the whole thing going on with Starlight. Like, it wasn't Starlight, it was the shapeshifter. And him thinking he was having sex with, you know, but it wasn't. Like, he's just had a really, really bad season. And I'm just hoping Season 5 that isn't the case. But knowing how the boys works, I can't see seeing him having many positives coming out of that season unless he has a happy ending, which I hope is the case. But yeah, Huey hasn't had the best of seasons. You then have Homelander Jr., Ryan, who, you know, went to visit Butcher and Grace. Was playing Connect 4, great game. And then, obviously, Grace ended up telling Ryan all the truth about Homelander with Flight, whatever number it is, and what went on between Butcher's wife and Homelander, so how he was born, pretty much. And she also mentioned something else. He put out a hit for put out the assassination hit for the president, and it was getting a bit too much for Ryan. He was panicking a bit, and Grace tried keeping him in that room. Ryan figured out that this room was to keep people like himself, Soups, so that he can't escape and sort of like trap him like we did Homelander when he was being brought up. So he panicked him. Grace was trying to stop him, and he killed Grace. He pushed Grace, sent her into the wall, and killed her. And I think at this moment is where we see Butcher really change. He was at, not peace, but he accepted the fact that he was going to die. He was about to die. He wanted to give some words of wisdom to Ryan, trying to help him out. But once he saw Grace die, he looked at Kessler and knew what had to be done, which led to Butcher doing what he did, what we'll talk about in a second. And I feel like this was a real transition point for Butcher. Like, he tried so much to be a better person, get it done the right way, and once he saw Grace die, the person who started this with him, it was like he knew nothing's going to change. I need to do what Kessler is telling me to do, which I want to do in a sense. And I think that's where we saw the transition period. And now I'm just interested to see what happens with Ryan now that he knows the truth. Obviously, we saw the stare down between Ryan and Homelander. I don't want to call it a stare down, actually. Homelander burnt up in a lot of his room in frustration of seeing the photo of Butcher and his wife Rebecca and the dog hidden in Ryan's bag. Created this backlash sort of thing. He was fuming with Ryan. Ryan stormed out. So now I'm very interested to see what Ryan does. Is he just going to go off on his own? Is he going to team up with his dad a bit longer? How's it going to go with Butcher? I have no idea, and I'm very interested to see how this plays into season 5. And then we get to the biggest moment of this episode. No, I'm not talking about Ashley number 2's death and Black Noir getting a murder boner after killing her. I'm obviously talking about Butcher killing Victoria Newman. I was gobsmacked when this happened, but I'm somewhat happy that it happened. I was a big fan of Newman, don't get me wrong. I think everyone was. Great actor, was great a part of the story. But in order to Butcher look so powerful, I think this was the right move. I heard it so many times now. Newman could be the one who could potentially kill Homelander. Her powers are that OP. Oh my god, she's so OP. She's so OP. And then Butcher just tears her apart like it's absolutely nothing. It was crazy. It was a big death of this episode. I couldn't believe it. Obviously, Newman had a change of heart after Homelander revealed that she was a soup. And, that she's got to do what he says. Else he would harm his daughter. All that stuff, threatening her. So she had a change of heart. Thought she would help out the boys. Try and take down Vought and Homelander. And then Butcher came as they were about to strike a deal between the boys, and Newman said no deals, deals are off, and then killed Newman, knocked out Zoe, Newman's daughter. And yeah, this was a big shock to me. Again, I think it's caught everyone off guard. I think a lot of people are going to be analysing this for a while now, as we are going to have to wait a few years for season 5. But oh man, I couldn't think of anyone else you could really kill off and it would have a bigger impact. I think Newman was the perfect person to kill off by Butcher. Have Butcher demonstrate his powers, essentially. I was always wondering this after the whole thing with Ezekiel, where he blacks out and he just exploded everywhere. I was wondering, how does it work? And now we know how it works. We know how the thing works with his powers. It's like these tentacle sort of things. It's all crazy and horrible looking. But it didn't show that Butcher is fully gone yet. Because obviously Kessler wants every soup gone. He wants every single soup gone. However, Kimiko, Starlight were in that room. Even Zoe was in that room, yet he didn't kill them. And I feel like that is a tiny part of Butcher what is still left. What stopped Kessler from doing so? I could be wrong, and maybe Kessler just wanted to take out the main threat and show everyone that he means business. But who knows? I'm very interested to see how Butcher goes, and I think we can all tell that Butcher's going to become evil Butcher going into season 5, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting killed off by the boys, such as like Ryan or something like that, and it's going to be very interesting. Shortly after this, we saw that this was all Sage's plan, and she was helping Homelander. It showed on the news that Newman is now dead. Homelander's like, oh, you wanted Newman dead sort of thing. And then Sage went on to explain why she wouldn't have been the perfect president and representative for the soups and whatnot. And she reveals that it's her grandmaster plan. But what caught me off with this is when she picks up a book from under the rubble, or diary, you should say. It's got Maeve on the front. And I'm very interested to see what this means. Does this mean that Maeve's going to come back? Is she maybe mates with Maeve and Sage are mates? I don't really know. I'm quite interested in this. Like, fair enough. if it was just a coincidence she had the diaries like a Queen Maeve one. But it's the fact that it zoomed in on it a bit. It just made me think, I had me guessing a bit. Maybe nothing comes from this. And if that is the case, I won't be disappointed. You want to throw curveballs at us, the viewers, making us think these different sort of theories, what are going to happen in the last season. And I don't really know. Personally, I don't think Maeve will come back. She has no powers now. She has one eye. She's got the life she really wants. I don't see why she would have a change of heart all of a sudden. It wouldn't really make sense to me, and I don't think that should happen. But who knows? It's a very interesting thing. And when we see Sage walking off, she says, be ready for Phase 2. And Phase 2 will obviously take place in the last season, which is Season 5. And then we finally got the relationship between Frenchie and Kimiko. Obviously, this has been brewing from the first season. Everybody's been wanting to see this. And we finally got it. Obviously, at the end of Season 3, she was like a Seymour's family. And then I had this feeling at the start of this season when we're going through, like, I can't remember what it was, one of the first few episodes. Can't remember what it was like a convention where they go and fight Firecracker in the whole sauna scene, you know what I'm on about, where she's all drunk, and it seemed to me like she was trying to make Frenchie jealous in a sense, because she was saying, oh, go for Colin, and Frenchie was like, oh, I don't know. And then she was like, oh, well, I fucked a guy from, like, the bar or something. I was like, I feel like she's lying, and I feel like that's out of pocket from Kimiko, even if she is drunk. And to me, I kept on thinking, yeah, is she trying to make Frenchie jealous? So I did have a feeling that this would happen, and it did happen. They finally got together. It was a nice little scene, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes on. But then we get to the kidnappings. So we finally see Frenchie and Kimiko, finally, they're together. But we can't enjoy it for that long. As they are kidnapped, we have Sam come up and throw Kimiko against like a container. Frenchie looks behind, but then Kate grabs him and says, get in the van. And this is where all the kidnapping happens, and it really does leave you in shock at the last part of the episode. So this kidnapping stems from the fact that the boys are now trying to part their ways, get away, and while that doesn't happen, obviously Sam and Kate from Gen V, they make an appearance as they're helping out with Seven, wanting to help Homelander. Sam makes sure Kimiko can't get out of it because he's obviously much stronger than her. Frenchie gets taken by Kate and she says to him, oh, get in the van, and well, that's her power. She can make people do what she wants. He goes into the van and Kimiko finally talks. She's screaming no at the top of her voice. And it's just all the shit that she's been through. And Frenchie being kidnapped is what makes her talk. God, it was gut-wrenching. And I just can't wait to see what happens next season. But then you had MM, who's in the airport, probably going to reunite with his family. But then Love Sausage, I believe his name is. Big penis guy, stretchy penis, whatever. Yeah, he came and wiped him out. And then some guards came and collected MM. And then you had it with Huey and Starlight. Starlight finally gets the powers working, shows it off in the car, both have a smile about it. Some random like boat drops from the sky, blocks it, they get crashed into it. And then we see Cindy from, I believe, Season 2 when she escaped. The last time we saw her, she was hitchhiking to get away. And that was the last time we saw her. And now we see her back. Her power is, I believe, telekinesis. So she can move things, obviously. And that's how the boat was in the air and dropped down. But then Starlight showed that her powers, she was shown at the start of the season where she can fly. And she shoots off in instant speed, which was quite cool to see. And I'm very, very interested in seeing Cindy come back and see how she fits into things in Season 5. Because I thought she ran away from Vought. And now is she working with Vought? I don't really know. But does it have play with something to do with whoever the hitchhiker was? I'm interested to see how that one plays out. And I'm happy to see her back. And how it all plays out. And then we have a post-credit scene where Soldier Boy is revealed to be alive, sleeping. He's been captured, and it's revealed to Homelander that he is there. And now Soldier Boy is going to be back in Season 5, and I can't wait. Everyone loves Soldier Boy, a great character, acted out very well, a very funny character, has a lot of charisma, just what you want, was arguably the best character of Season 3. No, in fact, he was the best character of Season 3, and we're going to see more of him in Season 5. They wouldn't just tease us for no reason. But who will he side with? Will he end up joining forces with Homelander and possibly Ryan as well, depending on what he does? I think that will be the case. I don't see what else would happen. Maybe to keep him just as a prisoner sort of thing, keep him captured, but allow him to like be alive and talk and be conscious. Maybe that's a possibility, but I don't know how it's going to work, and I can't wait. There's so many things going into season 5 which I just can't wait for. And those are the main things what took place in the finale of season 4. But now how does this set up season 5? And ultimately, and I think most people after what I've seen on Twitter can all agree that this is going to lead to the White House and a fight between Butcher and Homelander. And I cannot wait for when this happens. I can't wait for when Homelander's reaction to Butcher's new powers and just how reckless and evil and absolutely diabolical Butcher is going to be in the next season. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see how this is going to unfold, as I genuinely have no idea. I'm hoping to see a lot of deaths. I won't lie. Even if it is characters I do like, it's the last season. You got to go out with a bang. You got to pull the trigger. I believe they pulled the trigger this finale. I feel like season 3 finale, everyone kind of slated them a bit as they were a bit scared to pull the trigger. Season 4, that wasn't the case, and we have a lot of things going into season 5, and we can't wait to see them unfold. But what do you guys think about the finale of season 4 of The Boys? Did you like it? Did it live up to expectations? Or were you quite let down by it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. Go away.